This is going to be the biggest episode yet of the Ask Me Anything series. Thank you so much to everyone that asked a question, and let's get right into the video without wasting any more time because it's going to be a long one. First question up comes from David Potter. Who's your Stanley Cup pick? How about President's Trophy? Bottom of the league question mark? To answer who my Stanley Cup pick and the President's Trophy, I think the Devils are probably going to take both of them. I don't know so much the Stanley Cup, but the Devils are going to be a really good team this year, and I think they're going to be really hard to beat if they can just get their goaltending under control a little bit. As for bottom of the league, I'm going to go ahead and say San Jose Sharks. I don't know if you guys have seen their decor, but it is absolutely atrocious, and I think every game against them is going to be super high scoring for the opposite team. Next question up comes from Max is a Nerd. Do you think McDavid will end up being better than Gretzky? In terms of skill, I think McDavid's way better than Gretzky ever was. They come from two different eras where more physical fitness was more pushed on McDavid than it was Gretzky. But if we're talking about the public's opinion, I think unless Connor McDavid can win a Stanley Cup or two, he'll never be considered the greatest player of all time unless he can finally break through and win a cup. You look at the all-time greats of the league and they all have one thing in common, and that's that they won. I'm confident he'll be able to do it at some point in his career, but until then, he might not be looked at as the best player ever. Next question, who do you think is going to win the most cups in the next 10 years? I think either the Blackhawks, Ducks, or Sabres. With this one, I gotta go with the Devils again. They have everybody locked up to long-term deals, and they're gonna be really good as the cap keeps going up. So I think this one's probably gonna be the Devils, even though I'm a Penguins fan and that hurts me to say. Will the Bruins miss the playoffs? If they do, I assume the Sabres take their spot. I'm gonna have to agree with you full-heartedly on this one. I think the Bruins have a decent chance of missing the playoffs this year. Their center core is absolutely horrible this year with everyone that they lost, like Bergeron and Krejci. If they do miss, I definitely do agree that the Sabres are probably going to be the ones from the Atlantic Division that take their spot in the playoffs. Their stars are finally emerging, and they're looking like a really good team this year. Who do you think Patrick Kane is going to? I'm going to have to agree with you on this one as well. I think he'll probably go to the Sabres if the Sabres are ready to contend for a playoff spot later in the season whenever he's fully healed from his hip surgery. For those of you who don't know, Patrick Kane is from Buffalo, New York, and that would be the team that I think he would want to play for most, and apparently the Sabres had some interest in him already this offseason. So it probably will be end up them. Will the Maple Leafs get to the second round this season? The Maple Leafs are another team this year that had a big overhaul in the offseason. Whether it was losing Kyle Dubas or letting some other players go, they've had a big turnaround and they got some more gritty players. I think this year they're a lot different style of a team than they've been in the past couple seasons, and I think this year they probably could make the third round. They're a lot more gritty than years past, and I think that's going to help them have success in the playoffs. But maybe I'm wrong. It's just a matter of waiting for the season to actually play out. Do you think Bedard will get traded in his career? Honestly, my hope for this one would be yes. I hope the NHL eventually moves to an area like the NBA's in, that where their star players constantly get traded and it keeps things fresh. Right now, the way the NHL works is most star players are locked up on a team long term, and then it kind of stops movement with them in their career. I really hope eventually the NHL is able to move into a way where the NBA is. I hope that they're able to do it soon because it would make the NHL a lot more interesting and a lot more exciting for a lot of people. Will the Pens win the Cup this year? As much as it pains me to say, I don't think the Penguins are winning the Cup this year. The Devils and then the Hurricanes are both way better than them in the division. I do think that they are a playoff lock this year, but I don't think that they're true Cup contenders. They're getting too old, and their bottom six is still a little suspect, even if it's a lot more defensively responsible. If they just had more bottom six depth, I think they would be a lot better of a team, but until that happens, it's just going to be kind of a playoff lock team and nowhere near a Cup contender. Aussie Boy asks, how long has Adin Hill extended his life with Vegas from his performance? For those of you who don't know, Adin Hill's the goalie that won the Stanley Cup with the Golden Knights last season, and he was really good in his playoff performance once he came in the second round. Because of that, the Golden Knights signed him to a $4.9 million contract for 2 years. Honestly, I'm really happy for the guy. He's a goalie that really bounced around a lot and played in the AHL a good bit, and to see him finally have success and get rewarded for it is life-changing for him. I think he'll definitely be in the NHL for the next couple of years, and hopefully after this next contract's up, he's able to play for a lot more teams and able to play a lot more years in the NHL, because that's what really matters at the end of the day for him. Max is the Nerd asked, will Raquel or Russ get the first line? I think Raquel's going to get it. I would have to agree with you. I think Raquel's ultimately going to get it. Him and Crosby have had insane chemistry since he came over from the Ducks, and they look really good in the preseason so far together. Hopefully Raquel stays on the line the full year, Russ gets second or third line minutes, and everything will be happy, and a lot more Penguins fans will be happy as well. Will Ty Smith be traded because he was already put on waivers? Honestly, at some point I think Ty Smith will be. They have really good depth in defense right now. So Ty Smith would have to beat out a lot of other players to take the spot for the team. Unless injuries happen, he's going to be in the AHL the full year, and I think that's something that's really going to hurt him, and I think he'll end up probably being a throw-in in some type of trade that Kyle Dubas swings later in the season. He showed really good promise in his rookie season, but hasn't been able to find NHL success since then, and I hope somewhere else he's able to find the success he needs to have a good long career in the NHL. Will Brandon Yeager play for the Pens this season? I think if his junior season ends early, he could potentially get his 9 games in that doesn't count him as a rookie, and hopefully I think he does, because I think it would be a lot of fun to watch him play. He has an elite shot, and it'll be really fun to watch him play once he does start making the NHL lineup full-time in a couple years. How good do you think Wolf will be for the Calgary Flames? Well, this season, Dustin Wolf's already starting in the AHL, so that's a bad start. But when he does crack the NHL lineup again, I think he's going to be amazing. In the small sample size we got of him last year, he was amazing and easily beat out their other goalies in the system. I think he is the long-term savior of this team, and I think eventually the Flames will start playing him. It's just a matter of when. Will the Vegas Golden Knights do better or worse next season? In terms of success, I think they'll probably be worse next season because I don't think they're going to win the Stanley Cup this season, but maybe I'm wrong. Overall, I still think they're going to be a really good team this year, and they'll be fighting for the top spot in the Pacific Division, but who knows. I hope they have a lot more success though. They're a really fun team to watch when they are fully healthy and get going. Will Carey Price ever play again? This one for me is a pretty easy one to answer. The easy answer is no. He already sold his house in Montreal, and it already came out and say that he doesn't plan to play another game in the NHL barring a miracle. It is sad though. I wish his career didn't end like it did and he was able to get him Stanley Cup, but it's just what happens sometimes. How many points will Connor Bedard get this season? So far through the NHL preseason, Connor Bedard's looked really good in the games that he's played. He's put up a lot of points, and I think he's going to be very solid for the Blackhawks this year. If I had to guess, I think he's going to have one of the best rookie seasons we've had in a long time, and he's going to put up 70 to 80 points this year. I think this kid's going to be the next generational talent, and he's going to be amazing for the Blackhawks for a long time. Hopefully the Blackhawks get better around him fast, because he's going to be really exciting to watch, and he's going to need some help. What NHL team will come in last? I answered this one earlier, but to just go over it again, I think it will be the San Jose Sharks. Their top pairings, Mario Ferraro and Jan Ruda, and that's absolutely horrible, considering the rest of the defense is even worse than them. Will the Hurricanes do better or worse this season than last? I think the Hurricanes will probably do about the same this season. I think they're probably second in the Metro behind the Devils, and they'll still have a really good season. For them to be better this season, they need to make it out of the third round of the playoffs, because that's where they've really struggled in the last couple years. Hopefully they're able to make the Stanley Cup final this year and make a good run for the Cup, because they are a really exciting team to watch, and they have a lot of skill. Are the Devils going to do better or worse this season? I think the Devils are going to be top of the Metro this season, and I think they have a really good shot at making the Eastern Conference Finals. I think last year was a really good growing year for them, and they let the Stars finally get some experience in the playoffs, and that's something that's going to translate well into this year. They're an amazing team with a lot of amazing players. As long as their goaltending stays strong this year, they'll be really good. I think they have a really good shot in the playoffs too to potentially win the Cup, so who knows. But I think they are going to be better this season than they were last. Start, bench, cut, Jack Eichel, Jordan Kyrou, and Mitch Marner. With this one, I'm going to have to go a start Jack Eichel, bench Mitch Marner, and cut Jordan Kyrou. Jack Eichel is an elite player with a lot of upside, and I think that's something that a lot of teams really want. Mitch Marner is also an amazing player who's put up close to 100 points. Hasn't quite hit it yet, but I'm confident he will soon. Jordan Kyrou is also an elite player who's super fast and super exciting to watch. It hurts having to cut him, but I think out of the top 3, I think he would be the one to go. How many subscribers do you think you'll have by the end of the year? The goal for me, I think, would be to hit around 500 subscribers this year. Right now, at the time of recording this, we're sitting at 353 subscribers, and that's already way more than I thought I'd ever get on this channel. I'm really thankful for all you guys who have subscribed and continue to stick around and watch my videos. It means a lot to me, and I can't thank you enough. The goal for me this year, though, is to hit 500 subscribers, and then next year, hopefully push for 1,000. You guys mean so much to me, though, and if you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing, because it helps me out a lot. Do you play Xbox or PlayStation? I've never had a PlayStation at all. I only play on Xbox. I just started playing NHL 24 this week with the pre-order early access, and I think it's a really decent game so far, and I'm excited because I think it'll make some good videos for the channel. It's also currently what you're watching right now. Last question of the day. Will the Lightning get a new goalie because of their best goalie, Vasilevsky, being injured? I think the answer to this one's going to have to be yes. The goalies that the Tampa Bay Lightning have, besides Andrei Vasilevsky, in their backup is Jonas Johansson, and that's not going to cut it. They're going to have to go out and get somebody, or maybe they'll just try and ride the storm for the first 2 months of the season, but I don't think it's going to cut it at all, and they're going to have to go out and trade for somebody. Honestly, I'm not too sure who they're going to go out and get, but they need somebody fast, because the season's about to start, and right now, I wouldn't go into the season with Jonas Johansson as my starting goalie. Thank you so much to everyone that asked a question. It means so much to me, and I hope that I'm able to keep doing this series for a long time. If you made it this far in the video, drop a like on the video because you clearly enjoyed it, and also subscribe while you're down there if you're new. I do these videos every week, and it gives a good chance to reach out to my community and finally answer some questions that you guys may have. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching.